Welcome to Life, Passion and Business, and this is one of my podcast shorts. My name is Paul Harvey and this is Life, Passion and Business. We're about helping you explore, finding your passion for life and the work that you do. But it's so much more than that. It's about finding clues to the big life questions. What does it mean to be successful? What is the meaning of life? If you're looking for more, then join me on this journey where together we will discover through interviews, tools and tips how to live life full of meaning, passion and purpose. I did one of these a few weeks ago and I have been meaning to catch up with them, but you know how it is. What I want to talk to you about today is this thing that I call the wellness spiral. As humans, we have this voice in our head. You may not think it's there, or you may kind of not subscribe to this, but I assure you, if you read a piece of text or anything, you will hear the voice. And if you hear something that if you read something that you don't agree with, that voice will answer, or that voice will say to you, I don't believe that, or we don't believe that, or you don't believe that. It will probably say I. Everybody's voice is different, but the voice is there. It is always there and it never goes away. Now the point thing about this voice is it's there to help and support you. It's there to keep you safe. But it doesn't always tell the truth. The voice will be whoever it needs to be in whatever circumstance you are in to keep you safe. So you might be in a circumstance and your memory will be triggered about an event that happened in your childhood, and the voice will take on the persona of maybe your parent to try and stop you or guide you away from it. Now this is my experience of this voice and my observation of how this voice behaves, and your observation may be different, but the voice or the thing that is this kind of inner something is there. Now, from my perspective, the wellness spiral is a phrase that I coined from this sense of where I am sitting in my own well-being and my headspace well-being. And as an entrepreneur and business owner, my headspace is critical in terms of when I am feeling less than 100%. The voice in my head gets louder and has more power over me. So decisions that I take, the voice will have an input into them. And it always has an input into them, but it's about where I'm sitting on the positive or negative seesaw will depend on how positive or negative that voice is. And I have to say, predominantly, I find in me, predominantly that voice is negative. Now that is the human condition. We are programmed to find negative stuff. That's why newspapers always report the negative. That's why the news always reports the negative. Because they've discovered that if you report the positive, people turn off. They're looking for the negative. In terms of, as a marketer, I am trained to highlight the negative, because that is the thing that makes people make decisions to change. So those are all the things that, this stuff around this negativity and this negative influence that the voice carries is one of the things as an entrepreneur that we have to be aware of. So one of the things that I do is I'm not always best at this, but one of the things that I do is I manage how I'm feeling. I manage those points in time when I am not feeling good, when I'm not feeling 100%. And I ensure that I'm not making important decisions at those times. And I do things in order to lift or shift or move my mood in the right direction. Now, I call it the wellness spiral because I think of it as a spiral. If you think about it like a coiled spring, pointing upwards, when you look at the coil, it moves up in a spiral. And if you keep following up, it's a helix, keep following up to the top, it keeps going up. But you see, because it's a spiral and it's a helix going up, if you stop giving it forward momentum, it starts sliding down again. You start going the other way, going down. And what I've noticed in myself is if I allow myself to ruminate on negative thoughts or dwell on those negative thoughts and inspirations. Are the inspirations? No, they're not. Deliberations, whatever you want to call them. If I allow myself to dwell on those things, what happens is I don't slow my descent gets faster. I travel lower. When I get to a certain point in this real low, is that when I start getting into some sort of depression. And that can happen. I can get to a point where I kind of think, ugh, the world is this, the world is that, it's all against me. And I find myself doing less. I find myself posting less on social media. I kind of think, what does anyone want to hear from me from? I get all these kind of negative thoughts come flooding in. And I have to say, in full disclosure here, January for me is a effing awful time. I really struggle with January. I have always struggled with January. And I don't know what it is. There is nothing wrong with my life. And yet I still feel as though there is nothing right with it in January. And it's kind of, I don't know what it is about it. And I need to unpick this probably with someone. And maybe I'll do that. But so, as I said, January is a difficult time for me. So I'm conscious I'm actually low down the spiral, and I have been for a few days. And I'm starting to pick myself up again. I'm recognizing that I have to start moving up in the right direction. Now, what do I do for moving myself and maintaining myself on the spiral? Well, I've already covered in a previous podcast this idea of the morning routine. And I think that's a really valuable thing. And this January, my morning routine is not 100%. There are bits of it I'm not doing. I'm still maintaining the morning pages. And that's a fantastic thing, the morning pages, for noting the power of the voice. Because on the morning pages, the voice has no authority. You can tell it to go away. So I write things and I might be critical about it and I tell it to go away. In actual fact, the voice has almost stopped appearing in my morning pages now because it knows it has no power in there. But what I have noticed of late, because I'm in a lower state, I've noticed my morning pages have become very repetitive. So in morning pages, if you don't know what to write or you hate writing something, you just write anything. You write, I don't know what to write. And I've noticed what I've been doing at points in morning pages is I've been scribbling. I've been kind of thinking of things and not really forming words. I've just been scribbling and moving the pen. I guess which is my way of kind of going, I hate morning pages. So it's still there, but I'm still doing them. But I haven't been doing enough of the exercise. And it's dark in the mornings, which makes it very difficult to go out for a run. I don't want to run at this time of year. So, of course, the good thing is the light is returning. And by around middle of February, we'll start having some daylight. And it'll be really nice here. So anyway, going back to this idea of the spiral. The spiral is this method, this process for... So I've kind of developed myself a check where I will check in with myself throughout the day to say, where am I on the spiral? Am I moving up or moving down? And I find that is really valuable in terms of me noting where I am, what I'm doing. And if I feel myself moving down, I kind of do something to make myself feel better. And that could be some breathing exercise. It could be sitting. It could be take 10 minutes sleep. It could be anything that will reset me in the moment. So that's the wellness spiral for me. It's just this awareness, being aware of where I am, what I'm doing. I notice another thing about for me is that if I want to really push myself up the spiral, go and talk to someone can often help. Literally go and help someone do something. So as I said, what it is about for me is a sense of measuring where I am in terms of mindset, and am I moving up or moving down? And the idea is to stay up and find out what those things that trigger the downward motion, and be aware of them so you can stop yourself sliding into that process. So that's me. That's the little short today about the wellness spiral. I'd be fascinated to hear what you think about it, and if you've got any tools or things that you do in order to stop yourself sliding or to flip where you are at any one time. Anyway, this has been Paul Harvey, your host at Life, Passion and Business, with a podcast short called The Wellness Spiral. Thanks for listening.